Most men believe attraction begins with the body, but with a mature woman, attraction begins somewhere deeper, in the way you touch her mind, her emotions, and the quiet parts of her heart that few people ever notice. A mature woman has lived enough life to understand the difference between shallow attention and meaningful connection. She has experienced charm, compliments, and surface-level attraction before. What she responds to now is something far more powerful, a man who knows how to connect with her on emotional, intellectual, and subtle physical levels. Attraction for her is rarely about grand gestures or aggressive pursuit. Instead, it grows through small, meaningful moments that make her feel respected, understood, and safe. When a man learns how to express connection through thoughtful words, calm presence, and gentle touches that communicate sincerity rather than urgency, something powerful begins to happen. Her guard lowers, her curiosity grows, and a deeper emotional bond begins to form. These touches are not just physical actions, they are signals of character, maturity, and intention. The first touch that truly reaches a mature woman is the touch of attention. In a world where everyone is distracted, constantly checking their phones or waiting for their turn to speak, genuine attention feels rare. When you look at her while she speaks, when you remember the small details she mentioned days ago, and when you respond thoughtfully instead of rushing the conversation, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels valued. Attention is the quiet signal that says, "You matter enough for me to be fully present." That kind of presence touches her far more deeply than a simple compliment ever could. The second touch is the touch of calm confidence. Mature women have encountered many types of men, and they can sense insecurity quickly. But confidence is not loud, arrogant, or dominating. True confidence is quiet. It appears in the way you speak clearly, in the way you are comfortable with silence, and in the way you respect her space without trying to control the moment. When your energy is steady and composed, she begins to relax around you. That calm energy becomes a subtle emotional touch that tells her she is with someone grounded and self-aware. The third touch is the touch of understanding. Many people listen only to reply, but understanding requires something deeper. It means hearing the emotions behind her words. When she shares a story about her life, she is not only sharing facts, she is sharing pieces of her experiences. When you respond with empathy instead of judgment, she feels seen. Feeling understood is incredibly powerful for a mature woman because it reassures her that she does not have to perform or pretend around you. She can simply be herself. The fourth touch is the touch of respect. Respect is often more attractive to a mature woman than charm. It shows in the way you speak about her, the way you respect her time, and the way you honor her boundaries. Respect communicates that you admire her not just for her appearance, but for her experiences, her intelligence, and the life she has built. When a woman senses genuine respect, it builds a sense of emotional safety, and emotional safety allows attraction to grow naturally. The fifth touch is the touch of gentle physical presence. Physical touch with a mature woman is rarely about intensity. Instead, it is about timing and intention. A light touch on the arm during a sincere conversation, a warm embrace when greeting her, or guiding her gently through a doorway can communicate affection without pressure. These small gestures send a message of warmth and care. When physical touch is natural and respectful, it strengthens the emotional connection rather than rushing it. The sixth touch is the touch of encouragement. Mature women appreciate a man who recognizes their ambitions, talents, and dreams. Encouraging her ideas or supporting her goals shows that you see her as a partner rather than someone you simply want to impress. When she feels supported rather than judged, a deeper bond forms. Encouragement is a form of emotional touch that lifts her spirit and creates trust between you. The seventh touch is the touch of consistency. Many men create attraction in the beginning but fail to maintain it because their behavior changes. Consistency, however, builds reliability. When your words match your actions, when you remain steady in your communication, and when you treat her with the same respect over time, she begins to trust the connection. Consistency tells her that what she feels with you is real and dependable. When these touches come together, attention, confidence, understanding, respect, gentle affection, encouragement, and consistency, they create something far deeper than simple attraction. They create emotional closeness. And for a mature woman, emotional closeness is the foundation of falling deeply in love. Emotional presence is one of the most powerful forms of connection a person can offer. While physical contact can create momentary excitement or comfort, emotional presence reaches much deeper. It signals that you are not only physically near someone, but also mentally and emotionally engaged with them. For a mature woman especially, this kind of presence carries far more meaning than simple physical gestures. Emotional presence begins with attention. When you are fully present in a conversation, listening without distraction, making eye contact, and responding thoughtfully, you communicate respect and genuine interest. In a world filled with constant notifications and divided attention, someone who can truly focus on another person stands out immediately. That focused attention creates a sense of importance and value that cannot be replaced by a casual touch or a quick compliment. It also involves understanding emotions rather than just hearing words. A mature woman often communicates feelings through tone, expression, and subtle cues. When you notice these things and respond with empathy, she begins to feel understood. Feeling understood is deeply attractive because it allows her to relax and express herself honestly, without worrying about judgment or misunderstanding. Another important part of emotional presence is patience. Physical attraction can happen quickly, but emotional connection takes time. When a man shows patience in getting to know someone, allowing conversations to unfold naturally and not rushing intimacy, it creates a feeling of safety. Safety is one of the strongest foundations for deep attraction because it reassures her that the connection is genuine rather than impulsive. Emotional presence also reflects maturity and self-awareness. It shows that you value meaningful interaction more than surface-level attention. When someone feels that you are truly there with them in the moment, they sense authenticity. That authenticity builds trust, and trust opens the door to deeper feelings. In many ways, emotional presence becomes its own form of intimacy. It creates closeness that physical contact alone cannot achieve. Over time, this kind of connection strengthens bonds and allows affection to grow naturally and sincerely. Respectful attention is one of the strongest foundations for building trust and emotional safety in any relationship. It goes far beyond simply noticing someone's presence. Respectful attention means valuing a person's thoughts, feelings, boundaries, and experiences. When a mature woman feels that a man truly respects her as an individual, a deeper level of comfort begins to develop naturally. One of the clearest signs of respectful attention is genuine listening. Many people listen only long enough to respond or shift the focus back to themselves. Respectful attention, however, means listening with the intention to understand. When you allow her to express her thoughts fully without interruption, judgment, or impatience, it communicates that her voice matters. This simple act can create a powerful sense of emotional security. Respectful attention also appears in the way a man responds to her boundaries. A mature woman values a man who recognizes and honors her comfort level. When a man is patient and aware of her personal space, her time, and her emotional pace, she feels safe rather than pressured. Safety is extremely important because it allows her to relax and show her true personality without fear of being misunderstood or pushed into situations she is not ready for. Another important aspect of respectful attention is acknowledging her life experiences. A mature woman has lived through different phases of life, learned lessons, and developed her own perspective. When a man respects that journey instead of dismissing it, she feels seen as a complete person, rather than just someone being pursued. This recognition strengthens emotional connection and mutual respect. Over time, these small but meaningful behaviors build trust. Trust does not appear instantly. It grows through consistent actions that show reliability and care. When a woman feels that a man consistently treats her with patience, dignity, and thoughtful attention, she begins to feel emotionally secure around him. That security creates the space where genuine attraction, openness, and deeper connection can flourish naturally. Genuine listening is one of the most powerful ways to connect with another person. While many people think intimacy comes mainly from physical closeness, true intimacy often begins with the simple act of listening with full attention. When a person feels genuinely heard, it creates a sense of closeness that can be just as meaningful as any physical gesture. For a mature woman especially, this kind of connection carries deep emotional value. In everyday conversations, it is common for people to listen only halfway. Their minds are already preparing the next response, checking their phone, or waiting for the moment to speak again. Genuine listening is different. It requires slowing down, focusing fully on the person speaking, and absorbing not only their words but also the emotions behind them. When a man listens in this way, it shows that he values what she is sharing and respects her thoughts. This kind of attention creates emotional intimacy. A mature woman often appreciates conversations that go beyond surface topics. When she shares her experiences, memories, or opinions, she is revealing pieces of her inner world. If those words are met with patience, curiosity, and thoughtful responses, she begins to feel understood. Feeling understood is incredibly powerful because it reassures her that she does not need to hide parts of herself or pretend to be someone else. Genuine listening also builds trust. When a man remembers the details she mentioned earlier or refers back to something she shared in a previous conversation, it shows that he truly cares about what she says. Those small moments demonstrate that her words were important enough to stay in his mind. Over time, this strengthens emotional connection and comfort. In many ways, genuine listening becomes its own form of touch. It reaches the mind and the heart at the same time. It communicates respect, patience, and interest without needing dramatic gestures. For someone who values emotional depth, that kind of attention can feel incredibly intimate and meaningful. Subtle affection has a unique power in building attraction because it expresses warmth and interest without creating pressure or discomfort. While bold gestures or intense displays of attention can sometimes feel overwhelming, gentle expressions of care often create a far more meaningful emotional impact. For a mature woman, subtle affection signals sincerity, patience, and emotional awareness. Subtle affection begins with small, thoughtful gestures. A warm smile when you see her, maintaining kind eye contact during conversation, or a gentle tone when speaking, can communicate genuine interest without the need for dramatic actions. These moments may seem simple, but they create an atmosphere of comfort and emotional closeness. Instead of feeling rushed or pursued aggressively, she senses that the connection is growing naturally. Another important part of subtle affection is timing. Mature relationships often develop through gradual emotional bonding rather than sudden intensity. When affection is expressed at the right moments, during a meaningful conversation, a shared laugh, or a quiet pause, it feels authentic rather than forced. A light touch on the arm during a conversation or a sincere compliment offered naturally can communicate attraction while still respecting her space. Subtle affection also shows emotional intelligence. It demonstrates that you are aware of her feelings and attentive to how she responds. Instead of pushing for constant reassurance or attention, you allow the connection to unfold comfortably. This approach makes a woman feel respected because it shows that you value her comfort just as much as your own interest. Over time, these gentle expressions of affection create a strong emotional foundation. They allow trust and attraction to grow side by side. When affection is expressed in a calm and respectful way, it does not create pressure or expectation. Instead, it invites closeness naturally. For many mature women, this quiet form of connection feels far more meaningful than dramatic gestures. Subtle affection speaks softly, but its message is clear. It shows desire that is patient, genuine, and deeply respectful. Consistency and calm confidence are two qualities that naturally create deeper attraction over time. While excitement and charm may spark initial interest, it is reliability and emotional steadiness that make a connection feel meaningful and secure. A mature woman often values these traits because they signal stability and authenticity rather than temporary enthusiasm. Consistency shows itself through actions. When a man behaves the same way over time, respectful, attentive, and sincere, it builds trust. His words align with what he actually does, and this reliability makes a woman feel comfortable around him. She does not have to question his intentions or wonder whether his behavior will suddenly change. This sense of dependability creates emotional security, which is a strong foundation for attraction. Calm confidence adds another powerful element to this dynamic. It is not loud or showy. Instead, it appears in the way a man carries himself, speaks thoughtfully, and remains composed in different situations. A calm presence can be very reassuring because it shows emotional maturity and self-control. When consistency and calm confidence come together, they create a steady energy that draws people in. Instead of feeling uncertain or pressured, a woman feels relaxed and respected. Over time, that steady presence often awakens a deeper, more genuine form of attraction that grows naturally.